So even though I'm not mad or anything like that, I will probably sound like I'm mad at some point because this is a topic I'm very passionate about. So I will call this a mini rant. Something that I've been meaning to discuss for a while is every time I see car commercials nowadays, they all talk about these new safety features that have been implemented, such as if a pedestrian or something is crossing, the car will automatically stop dead on its tracks for you. If you're getting too close to a vehicle, it'll slow down or something for you. I think the 2017 RAV4, for example, it has 70 cameras, even the mirrors have cameras. Your vision is enhanced because you get to see what kinds of obstacles are present at any time. If something just happens to in the few minutes that you're looking down or something, anything can happen when you're on the road. The conditions are so ever changing, and that's why it is dangerous to be distracted, even if it's for a nanosecond, because stuff just happens like that. As cool as those features are, I can't help but think, are we really that terrible? Do we really suck that much at driving? Are our skills as drivers just declining so much? Because let me tell you, I have a somewhat modern vehicle. I drive a 2013 Corolla, and mom has the 2014 RAV4. They have some advances, the little button that rolls your window up and down. The radio has Bluetooth capability and satellite capabilities. Anyway, stuff like that, some upgrades. Certain features. Another thing that our vehicles have is this button that turns the traction off. And that's especially useful during snowy climate because sometimes it gets really slippery, and when you have that button enabled, what it does is it's like your car is digging itself out of being stuck. I don't know how to describe that or explain that very well, but last year it was a very useful feature for me because I was at Walmart one night, and for some reason I was just stuck in my parking spot. Snow was this thick, but it was enough for my car to, have trouble gripping onto the road. So the car alerted me, advised me to push the button, which I would regularly do. But in that situation, it told me urgently do it right now. It starts beeping. So I did that, and I felt the difference. It dug itself out of the snow trap that it was in. But I'm just saying, this thing about the car stopping for you when it detects that maybe a jogger is in front of you, how do you not see that? I've never come close to running over someone. I don't know if the commercial exaggerates the feature to make it appealing and be like, oh, this car almost drives itself, it'll ensure that I don't run over anybody. But how do you get in that situation where you nearly hit someone? I just don't get it. You have to be terrible at driving or just uber distracted for this to even be a thing. Why do we need for this to be a thing? Or if you want to turn this into a conspiracy, maybe car companies are implementing this technology to have an excuse to make their cars a little more expensive. At any rate, I just hate it because I have never felt like I need a feature to help me keep my nose away from the car that's in front of me. You just sense it, and I don't need something to stop the car because someone is crossing the street. I just don't need those 700 cameras because as I am heading toward the car, I am, watching what's around my car. If there is a shopping cart, I slide it out of the way. If I get on the driver's seat, I'm immediately looking at all of my mirrors. I will see something coming. The only way that the camera has been useful for me on the RAV, for example, that I wish the Corolla had, is I always have the misfortune of parking on a spot to where when I return to my car to leave the place, there is a huge pickup truck or just an SUV of some sort that makes it really hard for me to back up. But that's when you start backing up slowly, patiently, and little by little you keep glancing and looking to make sure that nobody's coming. I've never had any incident backing up from my parking spaces given those circumstances. So it's cool that we have a camera for that, but at the same time, if you take your time, you will be fine. Don't take this too literal, guys, but I just feel partly insulted because I feel like this technology is coming out not because it's convenient. I just feel like that's the way of people just telling each other that we suck at driving. For me, it makes me cringe because you guys know I love driving. I take it very seriously. It's one of my passions in life. So of course I will criticize stuff like this and criticize people too, because this stuff just doesn't happen to me. I cannot conceive it happening to me. So I think this is being rolled out because the stupid accidents that happen are a result of people being distracted, and I guess we're trying to come up with features to avoid that. But if that's the case, then I think people shouldn't be allowed to drive. I don't think we should be giving these people licenses, although we cannot see when they're being examined that they're texting and driving. But just be merciless. If you see someone with their phone, like cops for example, if you see anybody driving with the phone on their hands, just stop them and take the crap out of them. There has to be something that we can do to prevent the accidents that happen as a result of distractions. Because for me, if I were driving a vehicle that has these features enabled, how does it work? When does the safety feature kick in? Because I'm thinking, I'm in this seat, I am driving this vehicle, I am seeing everything because I'm not distracted, but then these features kick in. I feel like that on its own is dangerous. What if I'm getting really close to a car, but it's because sometimes I don't feel like I need to yield to everybody during some circumstances. So I will get a little closer to the vehicle in front of me, but it's not close enough to where I'm putting myself in danger. I probably sound like I'm just ranting for the sake of ranting, but I'm just not. I think it's stupid that we've come this far, that we need stuff to be done for us, like self-driving cars. No, I like to drive. I like to be a driver. Self-checkouts, it's like, what's wrong with a person doing it? Like, I understand if you have a couple of items, but us ringing up our $300 orders is ridiculous. Don't replace the human responses, the human labor, the human task with automation, because it just doesn't go well. Like, imagine pilotless airplanes. Would we fly one of those? Like, I know that we have drones and whatnot, but imagine the airlines using planes without pilots. I would not fly in one of those. I'm just not. Because how does a computer know how to respond to an emergency? Especially if it's an emergency that it has not been programmed to deal with. That's how I feel about cars. So that is just my humble opinion, just like everything that I present on this channel. What do you guys think? Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you agree? Do you think I'm just crazy? Do you think I should just chill out? I am chill. Like I said, this is a topic that really excites me, so I just gotta talk about it. But yeah, what do you guys have to say? How do you feel when you see those commercials? Do you want a car like this? Do you think it's an insult to our intellect and capabilities and just licensed title? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Bye!